What is up, guys? Sonduren Canadian Rider here. Today we're going to be doing a full review of the IROAD X10 4K dual channel dash cam plus the BI750 dash cam battery pack. So this is going to be a cool review. We're going to do a tandem product review here because both of them work in kind of conjunction with each other. But we're going to focus on the IROAD X10 dash cam first. This is a premium dash cam. IROAD's a new kind of market entrance into the North America market. They're primarily a company that's been making dash cams for the Southeast Asia market. I'm talking Malaysia, Singapore, Australia. So they're now coming into North America. And you guys know I have lots of experiences with dash cams, from the Blackvue products to the Thinkware products. So I want to go ahead, review this dash cam. This is one of their premium line dash cams. It's coming at a premium price. So let's talk price first. $559 Canadian is the price for this dual channel dash cam. So that's a pretty steep price, right? So I'm going to be expecting lots of great features out of this dash cam. And then I'm going to talk about the BI750 right after that. But let's focus on this IROAD product. 4K front-facing camera sensor, great. 1080p rear sensor in the rear. 4K, but is it at 30 or 60 frames? Unfortunately, 30 frames per second on this camera. You know, is it a deal breaker? No, but at this price, I think it's almost mandatory that you get 60 frames per second. Unfortunately, they don't have that with this dash cam. But there's some other features that I think kind of make up for it. But then there are other things I'll talk about where I think the IROAD kind of falls under or falls short a little bit versus the competitors, but it does make up for it in some areas. It's kind of up to you to decide what's important. Viewing angles is one of them that this IROAD dash cam excels in really well. 165-degree viewing angle on the front. So you're seeing this footage right now. 165 degrees is actually pretty wide. So you know you're going to be capturing kind of the entire front end of your car properly, regardless of where it is placed on the windshield. That's extremely important. And on the rear, you got 145 degrees in the rear. So that's really good. And you guys know how important it is. If you're not actually capturing what happens with the dash cam, and the purpose of the dash cam is completely gone and lost. So it's really important that you get that capture, and 165 degrees, especially in the front, is going to ensure that. So, you know, props to IROAD for doing that in terms of the video footage there. Now, if we come and look at how it's actually writing this video footage to the camera, it is using H.265 compression. So you're getting a lot more video footage put on the SD card, which means it's going to overwrite less on the SD card versus H.264. You're looking at, and from what I've seen in my own personal experience, about 75% more footage is being saved on that SD card on H.265. Really good. The only minor thing on H.265, you guys are probably aware of this, sometimes it doesn't play nice with some of your video viewers on your computer at home or even on your phone potentially, but honestly, I haven't had too many problems. I use VLC. It's completely fine to go ahead and view. The fact that it's saving so much footage on the SD card is really key. Now, thank you, IROAD, and shame to some manufacturers who don't actually include the SD card inside of the dash cam. There's nothing more frustrating. You open your dash cam and you're ready to set it up and it's like they don't include the SD card. So IROAD includes a 32 gigabyte SD card. Thank you so much for doing it inside of dash cam, and I appreciate that. So thank you. Now, one of the key features of any dash cam, and super important to me as well, you guys know this, is a parking mode. And this IROAD X10 is kind of loaded with all of the core functionality you would expect at this type of price segment for a dash cam. You have full event detection recording, buffered parking mode recording, you have motion detection recording, you have event detection recording, and you have a time-lapse recording. One unique feature here that IROAD was able to do in tandem with the H.265 compression, in tandem with the specific way they actually encode these files, is give you up to 16 hours of dash cam footage in parking mode using the 1 frame per second on their 32 gigabyte card that they include. Really cool. I really appreciate the fact that, again, they're thinking about parking mode. They've obviously made some strides with that. I want to talk about some other things. So I talked to you about how important it is that you capture that footage, but how important is it that you actually can access that footage and something doesn't go wrong with it. Now, there's a plus and negative to this. So IROAD uses a proprietary file encryption, which is JDR. It's a specific file format for the video files. So what the video is actually writing to on the SD card is not what you think. It's not an AVI format. It's not an MP format. It's a .JDR format. I was a little bit kind of thrown a curveball on this. When I started importing all the video files on my desktop, I realized I couldn't view anything. I was like, what's going on? You have to use the IROAD desktop application app. You can download that on their website. That's actually going to allow you to view the .jdr file format and to, inside of the app, by the way, you can see picture-in-picture. It has your GPS tracking in the app. You can see all your video files there. You can go left, right. There's a lot of things you can do in the app. It's not the most fully functional app in the world, but it has all the functionality most people will need to get their footage and review it and check it out if something has happened. There are a few improvements I wish they could do in the app. It's not the most user-friendly. I wish there was a better file structure and file kind of naming scheme, or at least in folders that they can include for people that are always going in there. But it's not the end of the world. So it's just an extra step. If you want to go ahead and convert these files to MP4, you have to do that extra step. It is in the tool. So once you're in the actual viewer, it'll allow you to do that. Make sure you update your software. When I downloaded everything, it would only let me actually export and convert one file at a time. I thought I was gonna go crazy because I had like 100 files, but thankfully, once you update the program, you can go ahead and bulk export everything to .avi or .mp4, so that's fine. So back to actually what I wanted to point out about this is on that SD card, those files that are on there, yes, they're on .jdr. It's unfortunately not the best thing in the world, but you can live with it. I wish there was another option for it, but there isn't. So the app is okay. You're obviously gonna be able to view it and everything in there. It's just kind of an extra step, which isn't a major deal breaker. So on top of the parking mode features, it comes with an array of features that you probably expect at a dash cam of this price. You're talking GPS, a little bit weird. You have to plug in the GPS to the back of the dash cam and wire a unit and plug it onto or stick it onto your windshield. Some dash cams have that built in. For some reason, it's not on here. It's not the end of the world, but I thought I'd bring that up. So it's got GPS, it's got Wi-Fi, it's got a phone app. All of these things you should basically expect so you can live view from your phone, etc., etc. Build quality on the dash cam. Let's talk about the build quality and the looks for a second. I'm really impressed with it. I think the dash cam looks pretty sexy. If there's a dash cam that could look sexy, I think it's this dash cam. Looks futuristic, sleek, very nice quality materials. I appreciate that there's a little cover for the micro SD card on the dash cam, which I like. The rear dash cam is very small and petite. It comes with everything you need. Also comes with the hardwire kit as well, which is going to be extremely important if you're doing parking mode features and parking mode recording. So basically it comes with the entire gamut of features that you want. It comes with a night mode as well, which I'll talk about. There's a plus and a minus, quite a big minus on that in my experience in testing. So this is a fully featured dash cam in terms of the features. So it's got some positives where I think it's above and beyond the competition that I talked about, but then it's got some negatives which we'll go into that I think is a little bit subpar versus the competition. Now, on top of all this, there are some additional features that I'm not gonna be reviewing in this review. It does have a plugin for an OBD2 scanner, which is something else, understand what's happening in your car. I think it's a little bit outside the realm of my use case, so I don't actually use it, but it is there. So if you don't have an OBD2 scanner, you want something that is integrated with a dash cam, there you go. I'm not gonna be speaking about that, but basically a dash cam is fully loaded. What I wanna do right now is start talking deeply into actually the video quality. And here's some things where I think it excels at, and some things where unfortunately the IROAD X10 falls short. So let's look at the 4K front-facing footage in the daytime. It looks amazing. So look at this footage right now. This is really comparable to the Blackvue product, the 4K camera, and a lot of 4K products for a dash cam of this kind of price span and for this segment in terms of its price. Really clear, not much grain. You can see everything nicely. Colors are representative. I think the color palette here is just a tad bit pink. I think coming from the factory, I noticed everything had a little bit of the slightest pink hue on the dash cam. Not a big deal. It's not a deal breaker for me, but in terms of like the ability to resolve the detail, 4K is amazing for a front-facing dash cam. And you get to experience the full 165-degree viewing angle. So really good on the front-facing dash cam during the day. Now during nighttime with their night vision mode on. This is where at first, if you're looking at this quality, you're gonna be blown away because right now what you see is almost no noise. I'm looking at this footage and I'm like so impressed. I remember when I actually imported this on my desktop, I started looking at this, I'm like, this is amazing. This is really blowing the competition away in terms of nighttime recording for this 4K sensor. And then I started continuing to watch the footage, and you guys are probably watching this footage right now. And what you're gonna notice is, wow, there's very little noise but let's start looking at the license plate on some of these cars. And unfortunately, what's happening here is that it's overexposing the license plates on all these cars, because what's happening is there's a light on most cars to actually shine on the license plate, and it's overexposing it. So what's happening is there's at least quite a significant delay, maybe 4 or 5 seconds at times, where the dash cam just blown out the license plate and you can't make out anything. It's just a shiny object at the back of the car, which is a really, really bad thing, especially during nighttime for your front 4K image sensor. So you're essentially kind of risking it when you're using this dash cam at night, because it's not resolving the license plate and it's overexposing the license plate. So I was so impressed initially with the nighttime footage, and I saw this and it kind of broke my heart to see that this is happening for this dash cam. I went out multiple times and retested this, and the same results happened. So I wasn't really impressed there. So the 4K front image sensor, mostly great, but a glaring flaw. Honestly, quite a critical flaw, which I can't believe they actually let through. So I'm not happy about that. It's, honestly, for me, it's kind of a deal breaker. So 4K, amazing during the day. Nighttime looks great, but for some reason having serious issues resolving license plates in a quick motion. Like when you're trying to come up to it right away, it does resolve at some point, but it takes a lot of time to actually resolve, which is not good. And honestly, it's a deal breaker. The front-facing footage during the daytime was really good, but I can't say the same about the rear footage. It's acceptable, it's on par, I believe, to some like mid-market dash cams, but it's not at the level that I would expect for, again, at this price, the quality during the day for the 1080p shooter. You can see details are a little bit soft. I see more noise than I would actually like, especially during the day. And that's kind of gonna lead into the unfortunate result of the nighttime footage for the rear dash cam. It is really grainy, and I was not happy with it. I kind of failed to resolve basic details during the nighttime that I would have expected, especially from other dash cams. And again, I went back to the footage and I did invisible glass on the windshield, on the rear, thinking that it must be mucky or dirty. I went back and tested things again, but unfortunately, the same result. The rear dash cam 1080p 30 frame per second shooter is not really good. I'd say it's actually subpar of my expectations on both the daytime footage, which I think is acceptable, but the nighttime footage is not good at all. So really, I'm disappointed on the rear dash cam shooter, unfortunately. I really hope that it would play better, especially during the daytime, where I think it's a lot easier for these dash cams to resolve details, but we didn't get that with this dash cam. So I wasn't the happiest with that. What I am very happy about is the parking mode. The parking mode features on this dash cam on a completely different front are really fully featured and on par with all of the other competitors. So we're talking about motion detection, we're talking about event detection recording, we're talking about time-lapse recording, which I already mentioned. On the SD card that they give you, the 32 gigabyte SD card, at the 1 frame per second mode, the time-lapse mode, you can get up to 16 hours of parking mode recording, which is incredible. So this is really good. Again, with the JDR proprietary file format, you're ensuring that if anything does happen, the wide field of view on the dash cams as well, it's gonna be captured, which I really appreciate. So this is a really solid parking mode in tandem with the BI750 dash cam battery pack, which I'll also talk about once I wrap this up. It really does deliver a fully functioning, fully featured parking mode dash cam, which I think is top of the line. So really happy about that on the IROAD front for the parking mode, but it's also augmented by the BI750 battery pack, which we're gonna be talking about as well. So in terms of the settings for the parking mode, you have all the settings that you should expect in terms of event recording, motion detection, sensitivity. All of these things are built into the dash cam as well. One other thing I'll also talk about kind of shifting into the parking mode is it does have winter voltage protection as well. So on the BI750, it does have voltage protection built in, but on this as well, it does have some voltage protection built in. So you can make sure, especially on an older car, on my Lexus IS350, it's got over 300,000 kilometers. It's good to have that. I'm going into winter right now, so I do want that. And again, this dash cam, in terms of its build quality to handle the winter and to handle the high temperatures, it is rated and built for these huge temperature swings that I know I'm going to be facing. I'm probably going to get negative 30 degrees Celsius weather at some point here in the winter. And then our summers can get blazingly hot up to 40 degrees Celsius. So I'm going to be testing that long term. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video. So when I do a year from now test this dash cam and tell you how it's actually been doing in terms of that variety of temperatures, I'll let you know if it's still holding up. But so far, so good in terms of that. So I talked about the Windows application, and I think that's pretty good. Not the most intuitive, another extra step, fine. Let's talk about the mobile app. Something that I always use a lot is the mobile app on any dash cam. You know what? I think this is a little bit under par, I'm not gonna lie. So the mobile app is a little bit glitchy. It does run a little bit funky on my Android device. So I'm testing this on a Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus. I realize that it might work better on an iPhone, but the reality is I have an Android device and that's what I use, and I'm not gonna get an iPhone to change that. It is a bit buggy. I have to turn off my mobile data every time I even want to connect to the dash cam. The buttons don't press properly sometimes. It just acts a little bit funky at times. Everything works in the dash cam. So I think the app has all the basic functionality you need to go ahead and change all these settings, to view the live footage. Will you be going in the app all the time? Not necessarily. The other major thing that it's obviously an omission here, I haven't brought it up about the dash cam as of until yet, is there's no cloud capability. So again, another omission for a dash cam of this price. You guys have seen, I just did a review on the DR750 from Blackvue, their new one that came out, and that was the first 4G capable, LTE capable dash cam where you can actually put in a SIM card into the dash cam. This has no cloud functionality whatsoever. So if you're a big cloud user with your dash cam, you're not getting that here at all. So again, I think the application, bare bones, it's functional, it's fine, but it's not gonna give you all the features that some of the other applications give you. Unfortunately, the file system, again, the file naming is kind of all over the place. I don't really like it. I wish they did better with the folder structures or doing something better. It's 2020, we're going to 2021. I think there's a better way to sort the dash cam files for these dash cams on the SD card. So phone, it's not bad. It could be better. Similar story for the Windows PC viewer. 4K front sensor, you have the super wide viewing angle, 165 degree viewing angle. I think what they have on the front facing camera is really good, and a lot of great functionality in this dash cam. I appreciate a lot of the safety protections that they have in it, but I really do think they need to step it up in their next iteration for the X10. I think the IROAD X10 is good for those people that are actually looking for something that is extremely reliable, that's gonna make sure that you capture everything that needs to be captured when you're going out and about. I think that's definitely its niche that it's playing into, the high temperature protection rating, the H.265, the .jdr proprietary file system and file format that they have. All these things come together with their parking mode that comes together, and it's really a dash cam that's gonna cover you and cover all your bases. But if you're looking for a dash cam with cloud capabilities, you're not gonna get it with this. If you're looking for a dash cam with the best video quality and footage, you're not gonna get it with this. If you're looking for a dash cam with 60 frames per second, you're not gonna get it with this. So just be wary of this. I think when you're looking for the IROAD X10 dash cam, it's really gonna be all about the price. Now, I wanna go ahead and shift into the BI750 battery pack review, which has actually augmented my experience using this dash cam. And just to be clear, this BI750 in the installation, it's gonna be a little bit different. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you exactly when you're hardwiring your dash cam, it's gonna be a little bit different. So I wanna show you that footage right now. So I'm installing the IROAD X10 dash cam right now, and I also have the BI750 battery pack in my hands. I've installed lots of dash cams, everybody, but I'm telling you right now, I was a little bit confused. So I wanted to make sure I tell you guys how to actually install this. I'm not gonna go into all the detail because most of the steps are exactly the same, but I wanna go over the little bit of changes compared to a normal dash cam install that you'll need to actually understand to install this properly. It took me more than a couple of minutes to figure this out, but here on my hand is the BI750. This is the battery pack. Before I actually start examining this, I wanna show you the cable that's coming out of the IROAD X10. So this is the cable you're probably familiar with. This end connects to the dash cam, and then what you have at the end of this, you have basically three lines. You've got your ground, which is here. So this is the ground, and then you have your ACC or battery lines, which is one line is for the constant power. So you'll need to, in your fuse box, find a constant power supply that's on even if the car is on or off. And then you have something that's the accessory power, which is a fuse that only provides power when the car is turned on or accessory mode is on, etc. So these are the three that you have. And typically, if you weren't installing any battery pack like this, these would go right into my fuse box here, and this would hardwire the IROAD X10 right up here, and I'd be able to get full parking mode. Now, the advantage of this is that it's going to put a lot less strain on my car's battery, especially because it's an older car. And a lot of the power is going to be provided by this battery, and this battery slowly charges from the car when it's on. So you're probably thinking, wait, how do I connect this then, this dash cam, because it's the only way to connect the power to it, with this. So now if you look at this, I'm going to just remove this cable for 1 second here. What you have on this model is you have ACCN. So this is where actually the power is going to come into for this. And this is going to end up powering the dash cam itself. So what does that mean? So there's this other cable here that's provided with this battery pack, and it plugs in here as so. And what you'll find is at the end of this cable, if I can just get all this crazy network of cables out, you'll find very similar connections to the dash cam. You have your ground, you have your ACC1 and ACC2 cables right here. So this is going to provide power to this battery pack here. Now you're going to notice ACC1, ACC2. It's not looking for a constant power supply here. So this is strictly going to be charging through the accessory ports on the car. And what you're going to do is you're going to end up splicing together. This is going to get spliced, or you're going to have to crimp it or whatever else you want to do. So these three lines from your dash cam, and you're going to need to connect this. So this comes with an additional cable with the three ends here. Notice that the three ends are the same color. These guys all connect. This has an out, and this connects into out, which powers or which supplies the power to your dash cam. That is the out power to your dash cam. So again, dash cam gets plugged in through this cable. At the end of this cable are the ACC, the constant power, and the ground. You're going to take this additional cable with the connector that has the same links. You're going to crimp these guys all together, or tape them however you'd like. And then this cable plugs into this out port on the battery pack. It was a little bit confusing for me, I'm not gonna lie. It took me a while. I was looking online, really reading the instructions, and I finally figured it out. It might be a lot easier for you guys when you're actually installing it, but I wanted to give you guys that. And what I'm gonna end up doing is putting the Velcro, they supply Velcro pads on here that can simply attach to the bottom seat of your car. That's where I'll probably keep this, at the bottom driver's seat of the car. But I just wanted to give you that little update, and I'm gonna continue installing the dash cam, and we're gonna go on to the rest of the review. So I hope that helped you in the installation for the BI750 battery pack. I had a little bit of problems trying to install it, I'm not gonna lie. But if you don't have it and you're just hardwiring into your car, it's like hardwiring any dash cam into your car for the IROAD X10. But let's talk about the BI750 battery pack. So this BI750 is a very, very important product, especially for those people that are looking for something for their dash cams that are running on parking mode all the time. I love parking mode. I use parking mode on all of my dash cams. And the one thing that concerns me is the drain on my battery, especially on older cars. You guys know I have a 2006 Lexus IS350 with over 300,000 kilometers. So the BI750 dash cam battery pack acts as basically a buffer between my dash cam, using it during parking mode, and my battery. It is that protective layer between them. Even though dash cams have those voltage protections, it's still amazing having a battery pack in between that can serve as the main primary source of power for your dash cam. And this battery pack, this BI750, was designed in Vancouver, manufactured and made in Korea, and it'll give you 30 hours of dual channel parking mode recording in this battery. So I have it hooked up, as you guys saw, via the two ACC connectors on my fuse box in my 2006 Lexus IS350. And this is charging the battery pack, giving me 30 hours of video recording footage while I'm in parking mode. This is phenomenal. This is just an additional protection for your car, especially if you're using parking mode a lot. So I've had this installed during the entire time on all of my tests with the IROAD X10. It's been working flawlessly. Really impressive in terms of the ability to give me that power to the dash cam without any problem. So all I did, I installed it as I did, I turned on the dash cam, there was no delay. There was nothing crazy going on. It does have an application where you can actually go inside of it, see the voltage, see the charging mode that it's in, how much charge does it have left. All of these things are in the app. Am I gonna be using the app a lot? No, right? I went in there maybe a couple times just to check the status of the battery pack, that it's working, and it's super intuitive. I just installed it underneath the seat of my car. It kind of stows away. You do all the wiring into the side, and it just kind of doesn't exist anymore in your head. But now your dash cam has a great primary source of battery that's coming in, or power that's coming in from the battery. So to summarize, the BI750 dashcam battery pack, it's really for those people that are looking to use parking mode lots on their car and on their dashcam, especially for somebody that maybe has an older car, older battery, that's going through really inclement climate changes. So like really, really cold winters, really hot summers. It's gonna act as that saving grace between your battery and your dashcam. Honestly, it provides me with a lot of peace of mind knowing this, especially on my older car. It's got over 300,000 kilometers. It's got 2 extra USB ports, it's nice. It's got Bluetooth, it's got an app to check the status of the battery. It plugs in pretty seamlessly. As you guys saw, the installation is not that hard. It took me a little to figure it out, but now you guys know. And then the IROAD X10 paired with it, it makes a great combo. I'm gonna be testing both of these products religiously over the next year and providing a 1-year update. So make sure you guys like this video. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys so much, over 25,000 subscribers. I really appreciate it. This was a long video. We talked about a lot of things. We talked about the IROAD X10 4K dual channel dashcam, which is a great dashcam. There's probably a lot of questions you guys have. Leave them down in the comment box down below. I'll also be linking these products in the comment box down below. And if you have any questions about the BI750, the dashcam battery, let me know. Again, BlackboxMyCar has been designing this battery over the last 8 years. They made major improvements to it, and this is their latest iteration of it. It's over 25% thinner. It looks great, packs a lot of battery power. So we're talking 30 hours of footage is being recorded from this battery pack for a dual channel setup, and then 48 hours for a single channel setup. So the battery pack's got a lot of capacity into it. It acts as that bridge between your car and the dash cam. And again, it's for that extra peace of mind. It tucks in under your seat and it looks great. So again, if you have any questions, let me know. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and I'll catch you guys in the next video.